Welcome, mortals, to the Beautiful Dead podcast. If you've come to this channel, you should stay for several reasons. One, you love vampires. This is a vampire podcast where we break down movies, TV shows, and books about vampires. We talk about the universe that's been created, how are they made, what rules do they have to follow, and more. Every once in a while, like October, I set aside the fiction and talk about all things vampire. 2, you have a podcast or would like to have a podcast and want to see behind the scenes of recording one. I edit out very little, so you will get to see mistakes and interruptions and learn along with me. Or 3, you're a fan of the podcast and you just want to watch me record it live. Or you like my books and you can't get enough of me. So, if you're still here, I promise it's due to your own free will, and I have not used my powers to keep you here. Now, watch the title cards and listen to the music along with the podcast. I'm gonna go get a bite, and I'll meet you back here, nice and full.
Oh, really?
Vampire! We take your candy!
Count Dracula.
I am Dracula. And I bid you welcome, Mr. Hunt, to my house. Come in.
Our first award goes to the vampires for most blood drained in a single evening.
The strength of the vampire is that people will not believe in him.
Good evening, my fellow vampire lovers. The sun is going down, and you know what that means. It's time for me to record another episode of my podcast, The Beautiful Dead. As always, I'm your host, Lena Nazari, and this will be dropping on Easter. So happy Easter to those of you who celebrate. I hope you're having a beautiful spring, and you feel renewed and refreshed and feel positive for the future. Reach out to me on social media, but honestly, if you want to hear back from me, just email me. That's lena@lenanazari.com. I'm not on social media as much as you may think, so I don't always see it, and sometimes it's lost in requested messages. So if you really want to hear back from me, if you have questions, comments, whatever, that's the best way. And I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about this new style of showing snippets of the movie, if you like that or not. I mean, the last 2 I did it because you just can't find those movies anywhere, and so I wanted you to have an idea of what the movie was like, the style and all of that, so you knew kind of what I was talking about. Let me know if you want me to keep doing that. It's entirely up to you. I want this to be a channel that you guys want to watch, or a podcast that you want to listen to. To the podcast listeners, I mean, you can't see the movie via podcast. So, we're going to hold for dog barking. It must not be anything important because she stopped. Oh, okay. We're going to pause because somebody might actually be here. All right, we're back. Everybody's safe. Don't worry, everyone's good. The neighbor had the audacity to pull into her own driveway, and Juliet needed to tell her who's boss and that behavior is not appropriate. So Juliet is now in here with me at my feet because I don't want to spend any longer talking about this movie than I have to, so I just want to get this done. So she's with me now. I don't even know what I was talking about. But tonight's vampire tea is Wolf's Bane blend. And the reason I did this one is because there is no tea that's going to tie in with this tonight theme-wise. And I just wanted to comfort myself because I had to sit through this movie. So I went back to my favorite tea, and it's in my True Blood mug here. And hopefully it will give me some comfort as I have to talk about this movie. And then it will be over. So we're going to do this nice and quick. Spoiler alerts. If you've never listened to the podcast or watched this YouTube channel, I'm going to ruin everything. I'm going to do a synopsis. It's very brief, thankfully, but I will ruin everything for you. So if you've never seen this movie, just know that I'm going to ruin it, because that's what I do. All right, let's do this. We're talking about Bitten from 2008. I believe this was direct to video or direct to DVD or whatever it would have been at that point. And let's go ahead and jump in. Summary. Jack, who's a paramedic, is frustrated with his life after he breaks up with his girlfriend. He discovers a girl, Danica, in an alleyway covered in blood, clinging to life. Jack takes Danica in and soon discovers that she is a vampire. Jack and Danica try to find a way to feed her cravings to drink blood while killing as little as possible. All their attempts end without success because a vampire needs fresh human blood. Jack also must find places to hide the bodies in his apartment, including the body of his ex-girlfriend, who had gone to his apartment to reclaim several of her possessions before Danica had bitten and killed her. Jack discovers upon his ex-girlfriend's corpse. I don't think that's the way to say that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's discovers upon. I think it would be like Jack stumbles upon his ex-girlfriend's corpse reanimated into a vampire and having to kill her when she attacks him in a rage. That she stabs him. This is terribly written. That only a stab to the heart will kill a vampire. Oh no, that was my bad. It was me reading it wrong, so I apologize to whoever wrote this. When Danica becomes more violent, killing several people, including a young woman, Jack is forced to kill her with the help of Roger, his paramedic coworker and friend. Roger stabs Danica in the heart while she attacks Jack and then kills her, but not before Jack is bitten. Jack becomes a vampire cared for by Roger, who feeds him from a dish of blood. Quick. Thank goodness. Vampire references. He refers to her turning. He goes, we know the whole Dracula thing. So we had a Dracula reference there. Vampire crossovers. Erica Cox is Danica in this and in a TV movie called The Vampire. Jordan Madley is in this and in an episode of Hemlock Grove, which I did first season, going way back. I should redo that one. I don't think I did it justice. Okay, before we break this down, I just want to apologize to my listeners or my audience for this movie. It's going to be a lame review because it's a horrible movie and I can only work with what I'm given. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. This is not the kind of content that I want to be giving you guys. I don't know how to make this interesting. So we're just going to rip it off like a Band-Aid. We're going to talk about it and we're going to get through this together. Relationship to humans. Usual. Vampires walk amongst the humans. Humans don't know vampires exist until it's too late. Vampires feed on humans, have interrelations with humans. Usual vampiric human relationships. Relationships to animals. So at one point, he catches a cat and brings it to her to feed on.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
I can't do this, Jack. There has to be another way.
Not that I know of. If you have a better idea, tell me what it is. Right now, that cat's the best idea I got.
So, that's the only interaction we see with an animal. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out well, but we'll get to that. Appearance. So she looks human. It's not until she reveals her fangs that he figures out what's going on.
Hold still.
What are you doing? Oh!
You got fucking fangs. What the fuck? Holy shit.
The only thing that really stands out is one, he said she's freezing to the touch, so, you know, cold. But she has these electric blue eyes, like electric blue. So that is another thing that obviously is going to stand out. Fangs, yes. 2 retractable canines, per the usual. Blood. Okay, so when she wakes up after the night that she's turned, she mentions that, like, my stomach hurts, I don't feel good. Then she becomes very feverish, she's shaky, she's nauseous, and it's because she's having that hunger for blood, she's having bloodlust. Once she feeds, she feels great, but then it wears off like a day later and she begins shaking again. At first she doesn't want to kill people, so she does try to, like, feed from this cat, but it doesn't work out because we come to find out that the vampires have to drink fresh human blood, like straight from the tap. However, that's contradicted at the end when we see Jack being fed by a bowl of blood, but I don't know, maybe the guy just slit a throat, drained it, and handed it to him. But that's not the implication we get through the whole movie. Sunlight. She burns in the sunlight, so...
Why haven't I seen you in the light?
Jack!
What?
Don't!
Yes! Come on!
Don't! It hurts my eye! Please don't do this!
I guess dating a night shift paramedic is a great idea. Food. She actually tries to, like, drink water and take pills, but she vomits it up, so that's not going to work for her. Sleep. As long as she is out of the sun, she can really sleep anywhere she wants. Like, he has this big, like, trunk, big crate in his apartment that he ends up stuffing the bodies into. So, you know, if they wanted to, they could have her sleeping in that, but they just have her sleeping in the bed. Holy items. This is never addressed. Rules. He carries her into the home, and I don't even know that she's fully turned at that point. So I don't know if she needs invited in. We don't see her in a mirror. We don't see her trying to cross running water. We don't see her touch silver, be around garlic. I can't address any of that stuff. For almost the entirety of the movie, she's in his apartment. So it doesn't give me much to work with. Powers. She heals quickly. Heightened senses. Super strength. She doesn't, like, have mind control. She can't climb walls. She can't fly. Nothing like that. Like, again, if she never leaves the apartment, she might have these abilities and we never get to see it. But because the whole thing is set in his apartment, then we don't get to see too much. How are they made? So when he finds her, she's laying in garbage, covered in blood.
What the fuck? Are you okay? Hey, you okay? Stay calm. What's your name? Okay, it's okay. Hey, listen. Hey, do you understand me? Look, I'm a medic. I can help you.
Don't touch me!
Come on.
So much blood.
Yeah.
Am I dying?
No, you're not dying, but you're hurting. You need help.
She has the bite mark. He takes her up, and then she's like, I don't know what did this to me. I don't remember anything. I don't remember what's going on. At some point in time, the turn happens, but I'm not completely sure. And then now she's, you know, bloodlusting. She has electric eyes, all that stuff. Then she attacks his girlfriend, drains her. The girlfriend dies. Then the next night, the girlfriend rises.
Holy shit, this bitch must want her shit back. Get her the fuck off me.
What should I do?
I don't know, fucking give her shit back or kill her.
Same thing with, like, someone else. So here's my thing. Does that mean that the vampire attacked her, drained her, left her, and she laid in garbage in an alleyway for 24 hours before she was found? I mean, I guess it's possible, but he's, like, literally walking into his apartment building and sees her, so he didn't see that the night before. And also, she would have been out in the sun then because she was in an alley. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to add logic to this. So that's how they're made. A bite, they die, they're turned. Heartbeat or breathing is never addressed. How do they die? We see the ex-girlfriend is stabbed in the heart many times. That's
You most definitely did not hit her hard.
how she dies. And then again, Danica is stabbed in the heart like multiple times, and that's how she dies. So destroy the heart. I am speeding through this, and I apologize, but I just, This is just what you're getting this week, okay? It's not my greatest. If this is the first episode you're watching or listening to, please, this is not my best. Please go check out another episode. Are they good or are they bad? I think she's trying to be good in the beginning. You know, she doesn't want to kill the cat. She finds out that her only option is live, fresh blood. So it's not like they can go get cow's blood at the butcher's or whatever. So, like, in the beginning, she's trying to be good. But obviously, she's the bad guy of the story. She eventually, like, completely vamps out and tries to kill Jack.
So what? You're gonna try and kill me now?
She has no control over herself, so they are the bad guys of the story. That being said, now Jack is a vampire at the end, and he's supposed to be our hero. So then what does that mean for Jack? I don't know. All right, let's just get right into this. Let's go ahead and do the ratings. This is probably the least psyched I've ever been to do ratings. But we're going to do it because I have started this and I am going to see it through because I am not a quitter. All right. How evil or scary are the vampires of Bitten? Okay, so she is bound by the sun. In the beginning, you know, she's like kind of confused and has no idea what she's doing. That being said, a vampire whose maker has just ditched them and now they have no idea what's going on, what they're doing, how to control themselves, anything, that is dangerous. I will say that. That's pretty dangerous. She has to feed off of fresh blood from the tap, so it's not like there's a replacement option. That being said, she is not impressive as a vampire. She is always complaining about how bored she is. She's so concerned with like how much he likes her and why did he like his ex-girlfriend and is she better than his ex-girlfriend, and she's kind of whiny. He yells at her and she curls up in a ball and cries. Like, she is the lamest vampire I've ever seen until kind of the last couple minutes of her existence when she finally like hulks out and kicks the door down and tries to rip him apart. Other than that, like, I think even vampires in children's movies are more impressive than this one. So I gave her a 3 out of 10 stakes to the heart for scariness and evil because she has to kill to eat. And she has this voracious appetite that appears to just be getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where she's gonna be insatiable. And because she doesn't have a maker like teaching her how to control herself, that makes her dangerous, but I can't give her more than a 3. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is my podcast. I get to do whatever I want. All right. How sexy or alluring is Danica? We're just talking about Danica here. She's gorgeous, okay? She is gorgeous. She's got an amazing body. Right after she kills the first time, she's like obviously in the mood. It gets her all worked up. When she feeds, she gets turned on, so the blood apparently makes her kind of lusty. But here's the problem. She's too out of control for you to ever like take her to bed as her, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Think about it. Every time they start to make out, she like pushes him away or she loses control and bites him. So that's great that she's like super hot and full of lust, but if she's not safe in the bedroom, then what are you gonna do with her? So then at one point she goes out, she picks up this girl and brings her back from the bar, and she's like, now we can like do the thing we've been trying to do, and if I freak out, I'll just attack this girl instead. And so there's a threesome scene, but of course the girl ends up dead. So 2 out of 10 onks for sexiness and allure, because what is the point of being super sexy and lusty if you can't do anything with it? If you can't, like, you can't finish the deed because she's gonna kill you. So it's kind of pointless. And she clearly doesn't have any kind of special allure, so she's just a super hot chick that got turned into a vampire who's completely out of control. All right, my thoughts. So I do want to be clear that this is meant to be a horror comedy, okay? You can't go into it trying to take it seriously because it is supposed to be a horror comedy. That being said, there's a lot of great horror comedies out there, okay? Jason Mewes is in it. anything with Jason Mewes clearly is a project that doesn't care if they offend you or not, so I of course take that into account. I will say that the things that the paramedics are saying about their patients are hilarious, and I kind of wish that we, as providers, could actually talk to people that way, but you can't. But that was just like the first few minutes. And then after you get to see him as a paramedic and it becomes a vampire story, it was just awful. So it's a horror comedy that's neither. It's neither a comedy nor a horror. The comedic jokes are basically poop jokes, racist stereotypes, the worst music choice I have ever seen in a movie. As a horror, it's even worse. It's not even close to being a horror. So to me, it felt like something a bunch of 12-year-old boys came together and wrote and then somehow got funded. Here's the thing. Nocturna, Howling 6, The Freaks, Children of the Night. These are all vampire movies that are bad, but they're so bad that they're good. This one is just bad. It is so bad. The vampire is so unimpressive. The writing is awful. The acting is awful. Yes, there are way worse movies out there, but this is pretty much at the bottom of the heap. I never would have finished this if it weren't for the podcast. And I actually thought about turning it off and just being honest with you guys and saying, for the first time ever in 4 years, this is one I could not finish and review for you, but I stuck it out. But you could not pay me enough money to ever watch this movie again, ever. I at least 20 times I checked to see how much time was remaining and was like, how can there still be that much time left in this movie? It was horrible. So we're gonna do my favorite coping mechanism, and we're gonna do the IMDb review titles. So let's go into it. We haven't done this in a while, but this one deserves it. 1. I think this film has bitten off more than it can chew. I like it. I see what you did, that a little wordplay. 1 just says watchable trash. No, I don't even agree with that. It's not watchable. It's not. It should say unwatchable trash. This one I loved. Who could have guessed that Jason Mewes wasn't leading man material? Ooh, the shade. I'm here for the shade. But that's it, guys. So I comforted myself throughout this whole movie by telling myself it's okay because we're gonna do IMDb review titles, and I love to do that. It's like my reward for making it through, but even the review titles weren't good. The whole thing is just torture. This whole experience was torture. I never, ever, ever want to talk about this movie ever again. And if you remember, if you watched last week, I told you, I don't feel good about this one. Like every time I picked up the DVD, I could just feel it emanating off, like, this is gonna be bad. I kept postponing it, but it's done. I never have to watch it again. Let's move on. Next week, I'm super excited because we are going to head into the month of Draculas. Every week in the next month, April, if you're not following along, every weekend in April, we are going to talk about a different version of Dracula. I am very excited to do this one. We're going to give the count the entire month, and we are going to start off with a bang. The OG Bela Lugosi in 1931's Dracula. If you have been following along with my story, if you know my backstory, you will know this is the movie that started off this entire thing. 6 years old, saw Bela Lugosi play Dracula, haven't looked back. So, come back here next week. If you have never seen Dracula, you have to go watch it. It's available everywhere. If you've seen it, rewatch it along with me. Join me back next week. I am so excited to talk about Bela Lugosi's Dracula. And then follow me on social media to see the different Draculas we're going to be talking about in April. It will also be the first episode of the month, so we'll be talking about my tarot for the month. I'll tell you a little bit about how March went. In the meantime, thank you for Thank you for going through this with me. Hopefully we'll all be okay. But I wish you wicked hugs and bloody kisses. Good evening.